the game of the season. All the guys went out there and played very physical, played very well. Improved from what we started off last year. Last year's season was a different opponent. This year is a different opponent. But I think for the most part, we didn't see a lot of turnovers in this type of game protection-wise. Besides the one Kendall had when we got it back. The guys flew around. They had fun offensively and defensively. The stats was, one way or the other. We kind of dominated on both sides of the ball stat-wise. But I think Florida A&M, for the most part, came out and played hard the entire game. It was great to see that it was the third largest attendance since we've been in Sun Life Stadium. That's telling you how the enthusiasm is going at the University of Miami right now. And a lot of times when you're playing an opponent like Florida A&M, a lot of fans don't want to come out. But the fan support should be here all times during the rest of the season. And I think it's very vital that our fans come out, support the University of Miami, support this football team. And that the season can be very big by fans still come out and be with it the whole entire time. Individually, we had some guys who did a lot of great things out there today. You can name them, you can pick them, but for the most part, I think that shows you what kind of team we have. You can go and say the receivers, LeBron Bird had a good game. Yeah, you can say that Darius had a good game. And you can go back and say running backs, Damon, Lamar, all those guys contribute. I think the one thing we look at is it's not a selfish team. It's a team that has a lot of pride and is always going out and compete. And I think that's the best thing that you can have when you have a team like this. Each and every day that they go compete in practice, and when they get in the game, it's competition to get better each time that we step on the football field.
Randy, is this exactly how you brought up? You got a ton of guys in, a lot of guys touches, a lot of guys scores. Nothing that didn't seem correctable as far as mistakes. Is it a perfect week one as far as what you like?
It's not perfect, Tim. It's not perfect. We had some offside penalties and some things that we feel like we could have got better in certain situations on defense. But it's all fixable things that you have to get done. Offensively, we had an opportunity to go in and score a couple of times, and miss block, miss assignment here and there. Those things cannot happen when you play teams that get down the road in the ACC conference. But it's a starting point. It is where you can get better. So at least this is not the best game. Hopefully, we're gonna have the rest of the season. It's one of many.
Randy, was it good to see Cooper get back out there?
Yeah, it's an opportunity for him to go out there and do some things. We had certain plays that we want to see him, be able to handle. We were going to go up there and say slam it up in there and get knocked around. So we did some things with him, and he showed some things that he could get done. And we'll see how he feels after that. I mean, it's a long season, it's a long time for rehab, and with his rehab, he's ahead of schedule. Any other person would probably take about a year off. But he gave it a try, and he'll see how he feels tomorrow.
Did you feel like the first half tackling was what it wanted to be? It looked like first game tackling.
That's what it was. We was making contact, but we was going for big hits. We wasn't going for the tackles, getting down the ground, and we stressed that. And so that's the one thing that you can improve on. But the next week opponent, will be the same type of guys as us. Athletes, big, physical guys that can run through tackles. And we always look at runs after first contact, and that's going to be a big emphasis this upcoming week. So we need to improve on that.
Looked like it got better in the second half.
We went in the locker room, we stressed the guys knew what they was doing wrong. So anytime you can correct and make changes, halftime adjustments, which is very good, and it's also helpful.
Lamar Miller, Mike James, and Lamar from men's all scored touchdowns. Assess their performances.
I can't tell you until I watch film, to be honest with you. That's why I said I can't give you a status on who did what. I thought for the most part, Florida A&M did some blitzes. That our running backs and offensive line did a pretty good job of focusing and picking those things up. As far as the run game wise, each one of them got touches, and all of them did some good things. But like anything, you just have to go back and watch film and evaluate what each one of them is doing and how you can get better.
Randy, Ja'Cory's play just only played the first half, and how did he
did a nice job of managing the game. We went through some no-huddle stuff that we implemented, and he did a great job of executing it, doing a great job of finding his receivers and getting it done. I think that shows improvement each year that we said with the same coordinator, the same offensive line, and then everybody's around you is the same. You kind of know your tendencies and what you're going to get done. And I thought it was great the way we executed it as a group on offense the first half.
How important was it for AJ and Spencer to get some time?
It was good because you always need game time experience because you never know what can happen during the season. And anytime you can get live game time experience is always helpful for the development of the guys, second team guys.
A few extra days for Ohio State, what does that allow you to do?
Not really nothing. Still got to give him a day off for the following week, so you give him a day off and come back. Tomorrow he wants to Florida A&M thing. Saturday they'll take a day off and then he'll go and start up with Sunday. They get a little bit one day of work in. But you always have to give them a day off. That's the thing that kind of misleads everything. Yes.
The anticipation and expectations around the tournament in general are so high. What are you telling your players about the season?
Oh, just tell them, remember last season. That's all you have to keep reminding. Hey, remember we was in this situation last year? A big game come up and everybody gonna praise you. You're gonna be on TV. It'll be probably on. If they have the press conference, it'll be ESPN, ABC. It'll be everybody else. So those guys got to be used to it and understand what it's about.
Ray had a big play. Just your impressions are positive.
It was a big play. A lot of guys had a lot of big plays. I was pleased in him picking off that pass because it's development for him to get better as a person, but also help us as a football team. And each time that a young man on his football team make a play, it's always contributed to not just one individual, but to the whole team. And that's the one thing that we look at as a team. If we don't get pressure on the quarterback, Ray don't make that interception. And I think that's big. He don't get to the end zone if the guys don't block. So it's all a team effort, but it was a great read by him, and now the other team helped to get in the end zone.
3 more questions. We'll get Corey up here.
How did you feel about not having to use the punt unit that much?
It was great. You know, you have to worry about anything. Then, if anytime you can not punt the football, that means your offense is doing very good. You're very well, and you're moving the football and you're controlling the field. And I think that was huge for us tonight. But you know, like anything, you got to go back to work, and at least Ohio State won't know what we're doing in punts for you. Go ahead.
I know you stressed not looking ahead to the next opponent. Were you pleased with the focus and making sure that they didn't look ahead to Ohio State?
Yeah. I felt like I said, a lot of things we learned from last year is really helping us out for this year, because a lot of times we looked ahead last year at some point in time because we were so young. But now we're an older group and they don't look ahead anymore. They stay focused on what we're trying to get done. They could have come out here, fellas, and started off flat or got in the frenzy early, and then in the second quarter went kind of to sleep. But they did. They came out in the second half, we moved the ball, we played defense. The guys kept that adrenaline going. And I think that shows you a different team. When you have a team like this that can go out and keep the pedal down and keep moving and keep going, it really helps us out.
With that Ohio State game looming, do you mention in the locker room after the game, when do you start talking about that?
No, when we come back to practice. So, you know, all we do is enjoy the night. That's the only thing. You can't never. One thing you never do, never take a victory and not enjoy it. And the one thing we're going to do to tell the players and the coaches, enjoy the night. This is a great victory for us. It's the start of the season. We want to know. Enjoy the night. When you come back tomorrow, watch tape, and then we'll go on from there.
Randy, I don't know if you saw the Marlin game yesterday, but any chance you can go back and recruit Gabby Sanchez as a linebacker?
He just can't help it. He tried, though. That's a good one.
Right, it's nice just to, I mean, even though, you know, A&M was a bit overmatched talent-wise, just to get a 0 finally for the first time in a long time.
Just want to play good on defense. Want to play great on defense. That's the thing. We didn't play great on defense tonight. I mean, Florida A&M, they're going to be a good team. Coach Taylor do a great job of building Florida A&M. I can understand what he's going through because I've been there before. We talked before the game. We talked last year before the game. And, you know, you always want to, especially as a defensive coach, you always feel like you miss too many tackles like early today. You know, you can't play football like that. You know, when you miss tackles like that, you can, against a real good team or a team with equal talent, you'll lose those type of games.
All right, guys. Get Corey up here. Coach is available at 11.